right.
Good morning.
Good morning. So we have a little camera here, and we set up me and Jessica here. I'm Joseph Drust. And
I'm
this
Jessica
is
Drew.
Jessica Drew, and we are live at the ZBrush Summit, and this is the live Sculpt-Off. So we currently have 12 amazing artists lined up here. They all have nice computers laid out here in Gnomon. And we're going to try to actually show you that here. So let's go through and we're going to do a little breakdown on actually who is in the Sculpt-Off here. So let's go first to our...
Do you want to do hard surface or organic first?
We're going to go with the hard surface group first.
All right.
Let's pull those guys in. So here are our hard surface contestants here.
Yeah, we have Kirill.
Kirill? Yeah.
I'm not going to try to say his last name.
No, I don't think he says his last name.
And then we have Frederick.
Frederick Dahlst.
Starting with his nice little human form.
Yeah, and you see he's already got a shadow box opened up and bringing in reference images.
Oh, nice.
Now we're going to make these a little bit bigger too. We're just going to go through and get everybody in order here to show you, kind of show you who's actually doing the hard surface portion of this morning's competition, and then we'll actually go through and you guys will be able to see everything large on screen so you can kind of see what they're actually doing.
Yeah, we're going to share as much of this as we possibly can. Next up, we've got Cedric.
And you just keep going through that list.
And we have, down on the bottom left, Furio, whose name is amazing. Middle bottom, we've got Tony Leonard. And he's already off to something very interesting. And last but not least, we have Vaughn in the bottom right.
So that is our hard surface group for this time. And then in our afternoon actual competition, we're going to have another set of 6 hard surface contestants. And the actual champions of the Sculpt-Off that we had this year, earlier this year, will be participating in the second group. So that will be Paul Liao and Justin Fields. So now let's move on to the actual organic group. So here we have our organic contestants. You want to go through those as well?
Sure. All right, up first is Mark DeDecker. And next up, we have Matt in the middle top. Everybody's starting off with like a circle first. Nice. Top right, Robert. And then bottom left, we have Damon. Already off to something kind of demonic. In the middle bottom, we have Crystal. And then on the bottom right, we have Eric Sosa.
So those are our 12 contestants. Now, you're looking at the screen here, and you see a lot of them starting with primitives and some other shapes. Robert Vignon has a base mesh that's currently established. For this competition, the contestants all could upload their base meshes that they wanted to use, and it was a communal kind of group. So we wanted to make it fair for all the contestants, so the brushes that anyone was going to be using had to be able to be shared across all the contestants along with any of the base meshes.
So the Make Awesome brush is for everyone.
The Make Awesome brush is for everybody. So there's a lot of different things here, but it's all been agreed on, and our actual topics for the competition this year, we have the hard surface, which is mechanical animals or mechanical fauna. So it's kind of like a fauna versus flora type thing going on.
Sweet.
And then on the organic side, you're looking at more of like organic flora creatures. So you think about Groot from the Avengers.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
those kind of treants, all sorts of stuff. So it should be an interesting competition we got going on here. So who do you want to start off here? You want to go?
Well, I think we could start with Frederick. You could take a look at kind of what he's aiming for.
Let's go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
So here we got Frederick.
And he's been going back and forth with his heads-up kind of display of his concept of like what he is aiming to do here today, and using it to like mask out exactly the different profiles that he's aiming for with his character.
And he's one of our hard surface contestants as well.
Yeah, I think masking and your edge loops and a lot of like the topology modification flow is like super important for the hard surface stuff. So it's really cool to see his method.
Yeah, so it looks like he's blocking out most of the shapes initially with some of the sculpting brushes, just getting his forms and finding his shapes. He's already looked like he's carved some holes in different elements. He's onto 2 subtools right now. You can see as well he's got a custom interface. So inside of ZBrush, you can customize all your little buttons and stuff. So if you're not familiar with the vanilla UI, you can come through and just start customizing this to your actual liking. So he's got his brushes and a lot of his views that he's using right now with, looks like ZapLink, set up so he can actually work with Spotlight here.
Nice, smart.
Very smart, very smart.
Do you want to check out Krill next?
Oh, we can fire up Krill. We'll go through, we'll branch everybody into the actual hard surface group here. So here we have Krill, and he's already going crazy with IMM brushes.
Ah, super sweet.
Yeah, so the IMM brushes, you can basically take any geometry that's inside a ZBrush and you can turn it into a brush. And then with this, you can actually drag it out onto the surface of your model and have it apply other places. So some of these elements here, he's pre-made, and then now he's trying to find his like silhouette and shapes by using these different elements. And so you can store multiple elements into a single brush and then save this out. It makes it really nice and easy to use.
Yeah, it's a really sweet way to kit bash in ZBrush because it's like based on the normals of the surface that you're applying stuff to, and you can decide like at what depth. So instead of sculpting on screws and little indents and whatnot, you can just pop those on the surface, even if it's like really complex curves.
Yes, exactly. And another nice thing with the IMM set as well is that with the release of 4R7, we do support texture maps as well. So he could have unwrapped these and textured them.
So they could each have like their own UV set and textures.
Yes. And you can actually store them in that brush and then drag them out on any model that actually has textures already associated with it. So
well, it's really nice then that he shared this brush for everybody to use.
That's right, that's right. So anyone can use the Krill special brush here, the magic brush. I don't see anyone else doing it yet. So who are we going to next?
Well, we can just go straight into some of the organic guys.
You want to make the jump? Let's go to, well, actually, we'll hit one more. We'll go to Cedric here.
Oh, one more hard surface?
Yeah, let's hit another hard surface here. So here we have Cedric So.
Ooh.
Yeah. And he's already going crazy, too, on this.
Get that mohawk. I like it's turning into like some kind of like vulture bird robot.
So I don't know if Cedric knows this, but this kind of coloring scheme he has here is like every time I see Cedric's stuff, it's this patented matte cap, and this is the like the standard Cedric matte cap.
So is it trying to be like Sculpey clay? You think?
I think so. Yeah, but
nice.
it's one of the ones, and I've used it in the past, and it brings out the forms and the shapes inside of ZBrush really, really well. So it's a very nice material to use when you're actually sculpting on models.
Especially for like highlighting those details, like those really small inset details.
And you can see here, too, he's got some custom UI stuff going on as well. So if you look at the actual left hand of his screen, he's got a bunch of his selection brushes hanging out over there. And he's docked his stroke menu over to the actual right side. So you can take any of those palettes that are linked at the top, and you can dock them on the right hand or the left hand side of your screen as well while you're actually working, which helps quite a bit. And I don't know if he's over there. He looks like he's over there using crazy hotkeys right now, just flying all over the place.
Dang. That's really cool. Nice way to... Well, I mean, time is of the essence in this.
It is. Demo. Only 3 hours is all we've got here from start to finish. And
yeah, that seems like a marathon, but it's not a lot for a character. Especially for like... well, what I feel like I would have an exceptionally hard time doing a hard surface full character in 3 hours. But these guys are like... They're total pros.
Yep, they're pros at their stuff. So we brought in all the heavy hitters for the ZBrush users. Who else we jump to next?
Furio's got something cool going on.
Oh, yes. Let's hit up.
Mantis, do you think?
It could be a Mantis. It's got that Mantis vibe.
Yeah, like Mantis / spaceship.
Yeah. And Furio, if you follow his work at all, he's been doing a lot of hard surface sculptures. So this is kind of his...
wheelhouse?
Yeah, I think so, wheelhouse. That'd be a good phrase for it. He's taught a few classes online. There's a bunch of Gumroads out and things like that if you're looking for his techniques. It's kind of getting a Metal Gear Solid type feel to it, too. A little bit of a Rex kind of
nice
feel. All right, so just going to move on here through all these so we get everybody into the action for all the contestants. You can kind of see what everybody's doing. And then we're just going to go through the play-by-play and just kind of hit them up as we see interesting things. So moving on next, we're going to hit up Mr. Tony Leonard. Tony's over here. If you follow Tony on Instagram or Facebook, you'll notice that he's been doing this crazy drawings, like he's always drawing stuff. And so what it appears in Tony's household, he just eats awesome food and draws all day. So I'd say it's a pretty good life. It looks great. So he's working on some of his hard surface stuff right now.
Eat art. It's a, yeah.
Eat art, is that, that's, I like that.
Eat and art. That's all you need.
And if we get a free moment, we'll try to hit you guys up with some of the links for some of these artists for their pages and maybe their accounts as well.
Well, I kind of like his approach. You know, he's starting off with some like crazy, I don't know where it's headed. But because it's so interesting as far as like a silhouette goes, he can push and pull, kind of like grabbing whatever creatively strikes him in the moment. That's, I don't know, I think he's going to come up with something really original with this.
Yeah, it's looking really nice. And he's using primarily Dynamesh on this model too. So he's gone in and just Dynamesh sculpting directly on it. And he's using a lot of the, he's very precise with his kind of strokes here as well.
Yeah.
Using that lazy mouse to his advantage and dragging the shapes around.
Lazy mouse, not for the lazy.
Not, a little bit for the lazy. So here we have Mark de Decker.
His name has a good rhythm.
It does have a good rhythm. So see if we can get this working correctly. So Mark there. And just basic brushes as well. 2 subtools, not much. So just keeping it simple and just kind of getting his forms. Mark's a little bit underneath the weather today. He has a little bit of a cold here, so he's not feeling 110%, but
that's why we brought in the warm weather here in
Los
Angeles, just so he could feel a little bit better.
He says he's gonna make it happen though. He's gonna make it happen.
It's all for you, Mark.
That's right. All right, now we're gonna move on to Matt Thorope. So another one of our organic sculptors here. The Redbeard is his handle online. And he's one of the Disney Infinity artists. He also will be doing a presentation later. I don't know when exactly. I should probably know this. This weekend. And he's also one of our people doing a workshop here as well.
Oh, right on.
So if you've signed up for the workshop, you'll be able to come in and actually take the class with him and Shane Olson. So it should be excellent stuff. He's going to go through how they actually design the characters for Disney Infinity. And him and Shane both have this excellent kind of really clean sculpting style as they're working on stuff. So you can see he's already getting his hard lines and using different subtools and different elements to kind of break out those lips in different parts of the character. So it should be interesting to see where he goes with this. Yeah, and so Eric's a huge toy collectible sculptor. So there's a lot of different models we'll do. We actually have quite a few of the actual sculptures he's actually created been donated by Kotobukiya.
Really?
Kotobukiya, if I can pronounce that correctly. And the Good Smile companies are one of other sponsors for our giveaways. But Eric has worked with Kotobukiya for a while, and so a lot of some of the prizes we're giving away, he has actually sculpted.
Dang.
So it's really, really interesting to see him actually work here. And just the style of what he's doing already, it looks really amazing.
Well, I think this is really fitting for the season. I mean, sorry, like the moment October hits, it's Halloween time
It's Halloween
for me.
time. It's Halloween. And so he's actually over there now he's using a tablet for all this, so a Wacom tablet.
It's always interesting to see the folks that prefer tablet over Cintiq. Like, I'm biased. I love my Cintiq.
Yes.
But
yes.
the tablet, the guys who use it kind of like it because they don't ever have their hand in the way of their
Yes,
sculpture.
and that seems to be the difference between a lot of the artists who use it is if you are used to kind of traditional drawing on pen and paper, you're kind of used to it. So you use I find those people use the Cintiqs actually more. But then the ones that, it's like playing a video game. You know, you're just so used to having your hands detached from the screen, and now you have the option to have your hand on the screen. And yeah, it's definitely a view thing. But
yeah, no, it's totally a preference, and it's just really interesting.
Yeah, I don't think the talent that comes off of tablet versus Cintiq usage it's equal. You can get
Artists are artists.
Yes, and no matter what tool they're using, well, ZBrush will definitely is
Well,
the tool to use.
But it is the artist's tool,
That's right,
It's like,
yes,
oh, how
yes.
do we make it almost exactly like sculpting?
Yep.
Yes, please.
And the same you can see with all the different, configurations for UI and everything that the people are using here. So let's go back to a little recap now on what the actual artists here are using in our little groups. So we're going to go back and just check on the entire hard surface group here and see where they're all kind of all at.
Oh,
So this is where we're going right now. So this is our hard surface stuff.
Oh, I like the articulated leg down in the middle.
Yeah, that would be Tony Leonard. Tony Leonard is getting that in the middle bottom there. Krill up at the top left is still working on some IMM brush stuff here, finding his silhouettes.
Ooh.
Furio's already gone in like detailing on his like a
Shit.
mantis type structure there. He's
I
already
wonder
getting
what
some
he has
carbon in.
planned.
Yeah,
I just really dig it's like a mantis spaceship.
yeah. And then you can see Vaughn. Vaughn's gone and looks like he's applied a lot of the Dynamesh stuff to his model, and now he's going in and still changing that form. He likes doing these really airy kind of winged creatures, which is really cool.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
interesting to see what he's going to actually do with this.
I like the use of negative space with like the understructure and then the overstructure so
Yeah.
far.
And so once again, you should start seeing like animalistic qualities to these actual sculptures. So for the wing stuff, you can think falcons, ravens, the
yeah.
mantis. So it looks like krill right now, it's almost looking like crocodile-esque, maybe alligator.
Oh, I'm gonna have fun guessing exactly where they're
and see
pulling
where they're
their
actually going
inspiration.
with this. All right, so let's see what
Sweet.
our actual organic group is doing. So we have the organic guys and gals. So this one again is the fauna contest here. So we should start seeing more kind of plant stuff kind of growing off of these.
Well, I think where's he at? Matt. I think he's gonna be going for some sort of like aquatic plant.
Yeah, he's definitely in the top middle there. Starting to get some of the aquatic nature, it looks like, pouring into that sculpt. Eric Sosa in the bottom right, definitely going for pumpkin.
Yep. Yep.
We got that as a plant right there.
Oh, yeah.
Got that one locked down.
Well, I mean, his material choice also. He's
Yes,
like,
yeah.
so you know,
it's a pumpkin.
I like squashes.
And then we have Crystal, and we're thinking she's going to do something lily-ish.
Yeah. I think it's peace lily, but not a very
Iris, lily?
peace-looking
Yeah.
character. Well,
No.
an iris is it's got the two halves to the leaf, and
This is
like
true.
a snapdragon.
Yeah.
But like lilies are like a petal
Mm-hmm.
and the stem.
And Damon's, too, may have some sort of kind of pumpkin-esque qualities going on as well. We're
Oh,
starting to get some of
man.
the pumpkin attribute kind of coming out of there. Gordish.
I would
type
not want
look.
that in my garden. Just
No,
saying.
oh man, we're gonna switch over here to see what Mark's up to here. Starting to get some pea pod.
So last time we saw him, we just saw him working on his silhouette, but now he's actually like,
Yeah, he's getting
Detailing
more
up.
advanced on this here.
or it could be a coffee bean,
It could be a coffee bean.
like the coffee that you didn't get to have today.
This is correct. I need more coffee. So there we
Oh,
go.
it could be a walnut. Oh,
It could be a walnut. That's pretty cool. I'm liking where this is going
Yeah.
for Mark here.
kind of emerging from.
Yeah, it's sprouting out of
bean.
the actual structure there. Very interesting. Very interesting.
No, it's really cool. Oh, it could be bean sprout.
It could be a bean sprout.
I think everybody had the experience growing one of those when they were younger.
This is true. I think we still grew them this year. I did peanuts. I was a peanut farmer this year.
Really?
We'll see how that goes.
Like the whole bush.
Yeah, the whole bush.
Nice.
All right, let's hop in over on Tony Leonard here. Getting a little rhinoceros beetle here. What do you think?
Ooh.
Think it's got some rhinoceros beetle type aspect?
So I look at ZBrush and I immediately am reaching for my Alt key because I want to zoom in on that. I'm like, oh, what is he doing?
Yeah, me and Jessica, we have all these kind of windows kind of panned out here.
Oh, it's
We
cool
can't
how
really
he's
get
using
close.
Keyshot.
Yeah, so Tony, if you guys just saw that, he's using the ZBrush to Keyshot bridge here, and it's actually connected directly with Luxion Keyshot right here, and this is Keyshot 5. And so with a single click inside of ZBrush, he's sent his model right over to Keyshot. And then from here, he's coming through, and it looks like he's going to apply some materials and different kind of views. So he's already working on his kind of final image as he's
that's really
continuing
smart.
to sculpt inside of ZBrush. Yeah, it's really powerful.
But you gotta like pick your battles with like such a short time frame for doing a complete character.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Well, it's
he's
a
like,
smart move, yeah, because look, he's already getting lighting and seeing how these forms are kind of handling out, and then we'll see him probably jump back over to ZBrush here and sculpt some more, and then just send it back and forth the entire
on.
time. So
Well, it also gives him the opportunity to kind of work on the thing to camera,
yes,
which
yes,
is
so he can
like
lock
in
a perspective,
cinematics where I
frame it.
work. That's what we tend to do is like, well, what does the camera see? Let's concentrate on that because then you get the most bang for your buck out of what's on screen.
Yeah, and once again, for the end results for this competition is an image. So unlike some of the other sculpt offs we have done, we've done a few we've done 3D printed ones.
Oh.
Yeah, so they had to finish the sculpt and then make it 3D printable, and then we printed it overnight. And
Well,
then
now this time the winners get to 3D print
yes,
everything.
exactly. So the voting this time will be on that final image. So Tony already looks like he's got a good start to that.
That's really exciting.
Let's go hop over to Furio here. Let's see what he's working on. Oh man, so looks like he's doing possibly some array mesh maybe with those little details for that vent structure there. It's looking very intricate. So pushing that mantis form there a lot. So it's going to be interesting. Definitely going to be interesting.
So did you know what he wrote for if you could have lunch with anyone, alive, dead, mythical, who would it be? He says Cartman.
Cartman.
I'm pretty sure Cartman would steal your lunch.
You wouldn't have lunch. You would not have it. So we had the actual contestants fill out little bios, and we post these online too if you're at the ZBrush Summit page. We posted those online, and you could actually read the bios. We had them question with, so we have them here as well. So there's some humorous items that have been picked up.
Well, and you can also see a lot of the work that these folks have been involved in.
Yeah, these are tremendous artists in the industry, and they've been doing everything from film, games, collectibles. ZBrush itself touches on multiple industries, so I think we're used in about 10 industries, I think, off the top of my head.
You need sculpting
it's
involved.
the program to go to.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, so let's hop over to Vaughn here. He's playing with more of these crazy structures. Vaughn does this interesting thing, too, with his coloring as he actually works as well. So you can see he kind of keeps everything like this polyframe mode. And inside of ZBrush 4, you can see right now, he's just getting his poly grouping visible, and there's no actual lines being visible. So there's actually 2 buttons on top of that polyframe button. And you can toggle if you just want to see only the wireframe or only the actual poly groups. So it's very helpful in kind of seeing where those parts on your models are broken off into those individual bits.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's really helpful when grouping things and just kind of moving things around, especially for masking like he's doing here. He's using the transpose line in move mode, which will allow you to mask based off that transpose line, so you can actually grow that mask out across that transpose line. It's really helpful in getting like bends and different structures to your model.
Yeah, it's going to follow your topology too. So if you had, I don't know, I use it a lot on like mouths and eyes. So I'm like, oh, I don't want to touch the lower jaw at all.
But this one's looking interesting too. Lots of different forms. Jessica has taken off the belt. She's taken off the belt. We decided to wear the sculpt off belts.
They're really heavy, actually. I got my workout in this morning.
It's like wearing a seat belt that's got metal jamming into your neck. So
it's some heavy-duty stuff, like ZBrush. Those Pixelogic guys, they wanted to give not just a trophy.
This belt.
But like a straight-up fighting championship belt.
That's right. WWE style right here.
ZBrush.
We're going to have one of the winner and the contestants going to do like that WWE Hulu commercial.
Or they could do a face-off with like the growling and the punching.
Yeah.
I'll get a picture of that.
So we have Crystal moving on as well. It's getting a little phallic. We got a little phallic going on here.
No, but I mean,
it's definitely that's definitely the plant structure going on. And I think you're totally right. It's definitely going to that lily aspect there.
Well, she could always change her mind. I mean,
she could. Yeah.
The day is young.
There's a lot of undos. That's another thing. If just sculpting in clay or doing anything else traditionally, well, you do a lot of costume.
Yeah, I do a lot of like clay sculpting and costume stuff. And one of the worst parts about working on stuff in the real world is you have no undo.
Yes.
Digitally.
Do you find yourself just like doing something and then be like Control Z,
Dude,
Control Z all the time?
All the time.
Yeah.
Or if you play video games a lot, like I'll be driving around and my mind will be like, hit M. Which is useless.
Yes, never works.
Nah, for digital, like your huge bonuses come from symmetry, undo, saving iteration progresses.
Oh, yes, yes.
So you can like save your state at a certain point. So if you make some decisions you maybe don't agree with later on down the road, you can always jump back. I actually do a lot of my concepting digitally. So that way I can make a lot of my mistakes and a lot of my decision
before you
stuff.
actually start breaking out the real
all
stuff.
with that
Makes
symmetry and
total sense.
undo. And then, you know, as much as I can, I use that digital stuff to reference.
All right, so we're gonna head over to Kirill.
Dinosaur.
Dinosaur. It's looking good. I'm liking where this one's going.
I mean, it still could be alligator.
It still could be alligator.
So
Still
right
could be
on, but
alligator.
definitely something prehistoric.
But you can see the usage of these IMM brushes. And with the addition of the Z Modeler, a lot of these shapes and stuff can be made really quick now inside of ZBrush. And then you can just convert them to this IMM brush and then just apply them all over the place. So in my workflows, I use it quite a bit for just kind of hammering out small shapes and then just taking those shapes and applying them everywhere.
Very,
It
very
also
cool.
could be, did you say whale? It's got some kind of like,
Well, it's definitely
whale
got like a rib
attribute to it
cage
too,
action
yeah.
going down. I'm kind of like crossing my fingers that he's going to make that structure, the bottom structure, into something that's like kind of like a rib cage, or I don't know. I'm just really excited to see how these artists' brains work.
yeah, and see where they actually go with this. And once again, the final for this is going to be just a final image, so we're not concerned at all. None of the artists concerned about actually getting these things printed out. So the structures of these are just, they can have floating geometry wherever they want them. So, and the competition this year is flora versus fauna. And so we have mechanical fauna and organic flora. And we have 6 organic competitors and 6 hard surface competitors squaring off right now. And they'll end in 3 hours. I don't know how much time we have left. I haven't been paying attention.
Well, it's only been about a little over a half an hour into the sculpt, and you can already see these guys all have an impressive head start.
Yes.
I mean, the decision-making process you have to go through for this short of a time period, like your silhouette decisions, your detail, your secondary detail, all of this. It's just really cool to see how everybody's brains work. Like some folks, like Cedric up there on the top right, he's concentrating just entirely on, you know, pulling the shape,
Shapes
pulling
out,
the character
yeah,
out of
and
one
looking.
single thing. And then we've got a whole bunch of, you know, kit bash folk. It's just really, really interesting to see
where the
all
process
these
is
different
going.
mechanical guys.
Yeah,
going.
so these once again are all the hard surface guys here. We haven't hit on Frederick, so we're gonna pop over there, and then we'll make sure we hit up the light surface guys as well. So pull that back. See, we have Frederick.
Look at the level of detail.
Yeah, he's got some really cool lines in it. He's got a real nice kind of flow to his structure.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool stuff.
I dig the vertical mouth.
Yeah. It's definitely, I like seeing things every once in a while that are different and unique, and he's definitely got that going on with the still appealing effects, but not what you see normally. So.
Well, that's always the challenge, right? Like,
Yes.
But that's one of the best reasons of the event here today is that, you know, it's not just like, do your best dinosaur. It is your best mechanical creature. And bringing in 2 completely disparate elements, everybody's going to combine them differently. Everybody's going to approach the whole.
Yeah, we did give these guys a little bit of a, we gave them prep work, so they knew what the actual topics were going to be for the sculpt. So they
That was nice of
had
you.
a, yeah, we did. We weren't going to just throw them cold turkey under the bus. So they had a little bit of prep for this, and so you can see it's definitely paid off. But 3 hours is not a long time.
Yep.
Not a long time. So let's hop over to the organic group here. So here we have our organic side again. Once again, organic flora, so plant creatures basically. So think of like Groot, treants, pumpkin stuff here. Let's go see what Crystal's doing. We're going to pop in on her. So we have Crystal. And she works with all the other backgrounds for everybody else have these dark backgrounds. And she's actually working kind of in the opposite color scheme. So she has these dark shapes on the light color background.
Well, it's all a matter of preference.
Yeah. And once again, this is one of those things that ZBrush, you can customize your whole interface to what suits you as an artist.
Do you think she's handling the mouth right now?
I think so. These are looking like some saber-toothed tiger teeth here.
Tiger lily? Eh?
Oh, yeah. This could be it.
Oh, I'm just excited.
She's using the transpose function here, and when you're in actual move transpose mode, if you hold Control and Shift and then drag out, it'll actually duplicate that tool as long as you don't have subdivisions on it. Yeah,
what?
so she can manipulate these all around and replicate those teeth, then move them a little bit and duplicate another one and keep going until she gets that entire mouth kind of generated. And then I'm guessing she's going to do like a mirror and weld after she gets half the side done.
Yeah.
Or maybe just keep the asymmetry and just go one by one.
Well, that's like always the thing, right? You know how like symmetry is a huge boon for digital modeling, digital sculpting, and it's such like a helpful element. However, the thing that's going to show off that something has been done digitally most clearly is symmetry. So a lot of artists will find ways to break that whenever they can.
Yeah, so you get that start up front and then switch over and do that asymmetry on it. Speaking of asymmetry, let's see, Mark, hit Eric Sosa up here. So sculpting some more details in here. Methodically, it's looking like. Methodically. Making sure all those lines are looking exactly what he wants them to look like.
I like that he has the skull on the inside in a whole separate material so that you can push and pull the pumpkin
bleed
flesh.
It through. Yeah, it's very nice. And once again, Kotobukiya, I'm going to have a horrible time saying this. Kotobukiya.
I sadly don't. Yeah, Kotobukiya.
Kotobukiya. Eric is done a few sculpts for them, and they're one of our sponsors for the show. So they're giving away some of our contest prizes, which will be given out during today, Saturday, and Sunday. And so you may have a chance through our Twitter feed, which is ZBrush Summit, hashtag ZBrush Summit, to actually win some of those. So you could possibly end up with
owning a piece of art by Eric here.
Actually done by Eric.
I don't know. It's really special having and knowing the artist behind the toy. You know, when you're growing up, you've got all these really cool things. You don't know who made it.
No.
But like nowadays, it's so accessible to like, oh, well, who did this character? Who did this really cool sculpt?
Very cool stuff. He's getting some pretty good stuff. And you can see the eyeballs here he has pulled off as a separate subtool, and he has a really high kind of specular value on the material there, which is giving this kind of nice eye look as well. So just breaking up the different materials on his sculpt has already given him some really interesting looks on his model.
Now, will these materials translate easily over into Keyshot?
Yes, if you're using the ZBrush to Keyshot bridge, if you have it set up and you just press BPR, it's going to send everything there, so it will send all those materials as well.
That's so rad.
And then you can use the ZBrush ones, or you can also then apply any of the Keyshot materials to your model to give more variation and get the renders looking like you want them to look. So lots of artistic freedom.
Yeah, that's like a really cool, situation between Keyshot and ZBrush.
Yeah, and the other thing too, right now, let's see if I can get the room cam here. You'll see all the artists here. They all have 2 monitors set up, and so right now we're only broadcasting through live stream one of the monitors. That's the actual monitor they're actually sculpting on, which is the main monitor. But their second monitors they're using for reference materials. Some of them actually have Keyshot over there going constantly. So as we saw earlier with Tony Leonard actually using the bridge to send his model over, take a look at it, see what it's doing, go back and then sculpt on it.
Nice.
A lot of these guys are going back and forth between those 2 monitors to get those different views there. So once again, we got all 12 of them going here inside of Gnomon here. And we got air conditioning, and the machines, it's loud in here. It's loud.
Is it loud?
It's pretty loud. And when all the cores are pumping on these machines, all these Alienwares here,
well, it's
quite a sight to
crazy hot
see.
outside, and there's a lot of machinery inside.
All right, so let's go check the boards again, see where everybody's at. So we got organic again. Oh man, Mark's going He's in Photoshop over here doing some stuff.
Ooh.
And then what's Matt doing? Let's check on Matt here.
Oh, nice. Getting some Vine action on those ears. I love elves, by the way. Super biased right now.
Super biased. Is this,
Oh, yeah.
Is this who you're going to vote for?
I get a vote?
I don't think there's anything in the rules that says you can't cast your Facebook vote.
Well, this is playing to my tastes right now. I'm such a sucker for elves. D&D, elf. Neverwinter Nights, elf. Every game, every chance I get.
Every chance.
It's
every
the ears,
chance.
man.
It is.
Like, look how graceful that spiral is. How can you resist that?
Pinwheel. What's the fiddleheads? Little fiddlehead kind of action on the top. If you go up north,
Sure.
you can eat fiddleheads. You can put them in a salad.
This is a thing?
Yeah,
I think you're
yeah.
just making stuff up.
No, fiddleheads. It looks like the end of a fiddle. You're gonna break out a computer over here. We got a computer set up. We're gonna have
I'm
Jessica
going to
look
Google
up
that. I'm
fiddlehead.
fact
Yeah.
checking him. I don't believe him. No, but this is a really cool character. And so he works for Disney Interactive right now,
Yes,
right?
yes.
You can see that really like clean, clear character design, like playing
Coming
to-
out in the actual
Yep.
forms here, yeah.
playing straight up to like light and color to get the most out of like the character shapes and shadows.
And you see there's a lot of tweaking with the actual ear shape here. So he just dynameshed them now, so he's come back in and smoothed this out. So he actually used a curve brush inside of ZBrush here to draw out that initial shape, and then he kind of tailored it with Move. And now he converted to Dynamesh, and now he's using, looks like probably a Dan Standard. Yeah, with Lazy Mouse on.
I think that was like
just
the
kinda
first
describing those
optional
forms there.
brush I ever used. I was
It's an
like,
excellent brush.
oh, God.
Excellent brush.
had to get me some of that. Okay, you're right. I didn't know that plant was like I thought it was a fern.
Yeah,
Or
I
is
think
it
it is
kind
a
of-
fern. It is a
Oh,
fern,
okay.
yeah.
It's a fiddlehead fern.
Fiddlehead.
Ooh.
Fiddlehead fern.
Then
All
he's
right.
not going aquatic. He's going kind of rainforest.
Yeah. Let's go hit up
Damon?
Crystal here.
Ooh. Oh,
working
yeah.
working on some teeth. So they were teeth.
They were.
They were.
And now she's
She's doing that
messing up
asymmetry
that
stuff.
symmetry.
Yeah.
Yeah, this plant is evil.
Doesn't look friendly.
Nope. But then again, I think if plants were actual like not okay, living creatures is not the right word. Interactive creatures where they were like
Well, there's
hanging
some.
out.
Well, not
If
technically.
a Venus
hanging out.
flytrap
Yeah.
is any indication
Yes.
of plants like moral compass,
Mm-hmm.
evil.
Evil. Evil. All right, let's hop over and see what
I really like the crown that she's constructed.
Robert's doing here. Robert's pulled in a lot of forms. So we started off with that base mesh with all those different elements, and he's now kind of blended them all together here. And he's using those kind of different primitives to get the shapes, and then he's just merging them in.
That's really a
It
cool
is.
approach.
It's a really good approach. And Robert does a lot of 3D printing too, so.
He's got his eye on the prize.
That's right, yeah. I'm sure he would love to have the next version of the Formlabs, Form 1 that's sitting up here. And once again, Formlabs is our sponsor for this event, along with Luxion Keyshot. And the winner of the Hard Surface Challenge and the winner of the Organic Challenge will each be taking home a Form 1 printer. So excellent
really
stuff. And it's actually the new version of
The
the
newest
Form printer.
model?
Yes, the newest model.
It's got a really big working space.
It does. It's
Look at
it's
all
huge.
that sculpting of. Yeah, that's
we,
nice.
We can hit on that really quick as well. So here we'll do the little,
Yeah, just
just kind of do the hand
you
gesture.
want me. I want that.
All right, let's go back to the full feed here again. Here we got all our hard surface guys.
Can we take a closer look at Vaughn, please?
Oh yeah, we can hit Vaughn up. Let's see what Vaughn's doing.
It's because of his color choices that it's really striking already.
Yeah, and this was for the sculpt off that we had in, this was end of January. He had the same kind of color scheme going on, and it's really interesting. And Heavy Poly is his website, so.
Which is an honest assessment of his workflow.
You think he's got some polygons here? We're up to at least 3 million points there.
Oh, that's
so.
not bad. Shit, he's
no,
on it.
he's low level right now.
I like how he's using this brush to like bring in all the wire
Yeah.
tube.
And you can change how this wire snaps too. So in the actual stroke panel inside of ZBrush, you can have it so it will set as you're dragging across the surface, or you can pick one surface and then click on another surface and it'll draw a straight line out of it too.
Oh, snap.
So if you're doing a lot of wiring and different kind of elements, so say you're making, I don't know, a bridge and you need suspension things.
Yeah.
It's really nice. Just click, 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 and you get all these nice
And you can edit it
curves.
after the
yeah,
fact
and
to like
there's
bring
still
in the curve.
there's still those active curves, and you can come in and tweak them with the move brush or whatever you want. Antlers. I'm seeing antlers now.
Oh shit.
We were thinking bird. I was thinking bird
Yeah.
when we first started doing this.
No, flying reindeer.
Could be flying reindeer. Very cool.
Or there's a cat right in the middle of that engine right there.
Oh, like a cat driving.
Look at his little face.
It does have a little face. Faces and everything. Looks like it's got little ears. Little ears going on.
Although I really like the antlers. That's actually a really cool idea to like bring in that sort of like branching element, but mechanical.
Yeah, it gives a lot of shape and form to it. It'll be interesting to see what he's going to do with lighting and if he's going to have any shadows play off those different elements. Yeah. I don't know. We could be going crocodile.
I really do want to see Kirill. Look at the spine. He's got like this whole articulated action.
Oh, man, he's got wires.
Shit.
It's looking hot.
Look what happened while we were checking out the other guys.
Man, that's pretty nice. And he looks like he's feeding them through. So this is one thing that I often, I don't know, when I see different people's art, I pick on them. Like, you didn't wire that correctly. That's not feeding through correctly.
Well, I mean, they could just be a really, really bad IT person on this
That's true, that's
mechanical T-Rex, you know?
They just threw it together. They didn't.
Like, they're the organized IT guys where every wire is like, you know, Velcroed in and
Yep,
through,
yep,
and they're like,
yep.
yeah, nothing's breaking here. And then there's the guys where it's like a rat's nest, and
It's
they're like,
rat's
I
nest,
can make
yeah.
a small home. Perfect. Ah, this
That's
is
looking pretty
really
nice,
cool.
though.
I like the breakdown of the vertebrae.
Yeah, he's got some really nice shapes going on here, too. And one thing with the IMM brushes that he's using, they're really clean. And so he can Dynamesh these and then sculpt on them afterwards, or multiple processes he can do inside of ZBrush. So really nice stuff going on there.
That is really
Really
cool.
nice. All right, we're going to head over here and see what
Frederick?
Frederick. Oh,
Ooh,
we
down
got,
in
we
the
got
neck.
Yeah, we're getting armor and stuff
Oh, I
now.
like the line shape flow around the neck.
It's very cool. Very cool. I don't know if you're following the Twitter feeds as well, but we have 2 feeds going on now. Does the other one should be up, correct? I don't know if they've followed us on Twitter at ZBrush, and the hashtag for this year's summit is ZBrush Summit. And we'll see if I can locate our little design here so you guys kind of can see what's going on here for our ZBrush Summit here. So there's our little hashtag, ZBrush Summit. Hit us up on Twitter. We have a team of people actually manning our Twitter feeds today. So if you have any questions or anything you're seeing in the Sculpt Off or the actual presentations, just hit us up with that hashtag and we'll check it out and try to send you some links back to where you can get information on these different processes. So we have a lot of free tutorials on our Z Classroom site, and we'll be happy to link those different elements to you guys to get you up to speed with any of the processes you guys are seeing here. So here we have Frederick pounding out stuff here. So really interesting kind of shapes. He's forming out the backs here, and he actually used a mannequin right here, so you can see the actual elements here. And a mannequin is a way to generate kind of posing aspects on your model, and it's using the Z-Sphere actual technology. So you have these mannequin forms you can bring in, pose them around. They're really easy to pose, and then you can turn them all into a Dynamesh and just sculpt away.
Right
so
on.
really, really fun stuff. And there's all sorts of ones that have been made. There's frogs, and I think we have a rhinoceros, and
Really?
all sorts of different ones that just preload and ship with ZBrush. So
That is super useful.
lots of fun stuff there. So let's go head back to the board here. Let's check on our organic group. See, we have all our organic contestants. Oh, Robert's doing some cool stuff. We're gonna pop over and see what Robert's getting going on here.
Ooh.
I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Got some vines going on.
Oh, so that cylinder he popped into the scene previously is now like turning into this like creeping.
Yeah, he's pulling all the stuff out of it.
Nice.
Yeah, so this is definitely, it's almost like trapped in kind of, I don't know, how would you describe that?
Entangled.
Entangled.
Druid
There you go.
spell.
There you go. Yes.
Oh, he's using the snake hook brush, right?
Yeah. And that's another really nice one because you can actually pull your geometry out really quick with that snake hook brush and then just re-dynamesh and you just keep pulling. It also works really well for like fabric tears and things like that.
Oh, that's a really smart use of it.
Yeah.
I always use slash brush for fabric stuff.
But if you need like those little wispy ends, kind of pull them off.
Yeah.
Snake hook them out.
It's like toss on like a really like tight focus.
Yeah, yeah.
That's smart.
Robert, too, you can see here, he actually has different coloring on his UI. So you can even customize your UI down to the color schemes.
It's because he wants it to look space aged.
That's right. It's from the future. It probably matches his wallpaper or something. We can.
I wish I were that color coordinated.
Yeah,
That's pretty
I would
rad.
like that too, but I don't think it's going to happen. Don't
Well,
think
it
it's
can.
gonna- It could.
You just
Not.
have to poke around ZBrush.
All right, let's head back to the board here. Back to the organic guys. Oh man, look at what Eric's doing. Eric's getting in there with that.
Ooh.
Look at that.
So he
at
tossed
that.
off the orange so that he could like really look at his detail, getting all that like wrinkle.
And you can definitely see kind of this clay background coming out here, like getting those deep carves, and then going back in and kind of smoothing it. Using kind of that alcohol torch kind of approach.
Oh, nice.
Throw some heat on that model, melt those harsh edges out.
So you think he started working in like wax sculpture?
Oh yeah,
Wax
he
sculpture?
did. Yeah, yeah.
That's really cool.
Eric's a excellent traditional sculptor.
Yeah.
He's taken his talent to the digital realm. So
Well, checking out his list of favorite artists is actually very telling. Shiflett Brothers, Jordy
Yep.
Shell, Steve Wang. Yeah. Yeah, this makes sense.
excellent, excellent stuff. Looking great. All right, let's see who else we have. What else do we have up here? Who else do we want to check out?
Out of our
Oh,
organic
let's
guys?
hit up Furio here.
Yeah, Mantis.
So it is Mantis. It is a Mantis.
And it's not just a spaceship head. Oh, this is really beautiful. I love the antenna.
Yeah, and he's already got all the legs kind of hammered out.
Oh, nice. He's already got like this joint articulation thing.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how he's going to actually render this out.
Like
Just
what
see all
pose
these-
he'll use?
Yeah, like posed and, because right now they're pretty much a lot of the contestants right now, they're actually, have everything kind of set, kind of that asymmetrical pose like we were talking about, or the symmetrical pose.
Well, in ZBrush, you don't actually have to have your pose set in. You can, move stuff around really easily as your last step.
Yeah. But it's interesting to see what they're planning. You don't know right now. Like,
Yeah.
what kind of pose are they going to throw this into?
Ooh.
Like Robert, he's kind of got some of his pose kind of already started.
Mm-hmm.
And then it looks like Damon here is
Well, I
actually,
think Mark DeDecker.
yeah, he's got his kind of flushed out as well. Oh man, we got some fungus. Look at that.
Ooh. Oh, okay. Those are my favorite mushroom. Not to like eat. I don't know if you eat those,
You
but
probably
as far
don't
as
wanna
like
eat
the
those.
look of them, what was it? The video game that was the mushroom zombies.
Oh, I'm not even going to give you this name. You should know this.
Dang it, man! It's too. I also had no caffeine coffee.
Okay. The Last of Us.
Thank you.
The Last of Us, yes.
It's just it made me fall in love with those mushrooms, and I really dig seeing how Damon here is like integrating
that into the actual structure.
Oh, it's just so pretty.
Yeah, and the Naughty Dog, they use lots and lots of ZBrush as well. So they're
Yeah?
all those guys were sculpted in ZBrush for the game.
Hell
so
yeah! Beautiful characters.
Beautiful characters, beautiful.
Beautiful in a terrible, frightening, and
End of
you
the
know,
world type.
Yeah,
aspect.
in a it'll kill me.
Yes. All right, let's see who else do we have here. Oh, look, let's go hit Matt. Matt's actually playing with color already.
Oh snap!
So another thing you'll see a lot of kind of lot of sculptors do is, while they're actually sculpting on stuff, you know, applying that color to it. So we've seen Vaughn here applying different elements of color, but Matt's actually taken to the next level, and he's actually using, you know, just poly painting along with different colors to bring out his forms and shapes and get a preview of what it's going to look like.
He's got some color variation going in his dots.
Yes,
also.
yes. So he has a stroke set the dots, and then you have that foreground and background color, and you can actually set it where actually we'll pull both of those and apply it out. You can apply it as a spray.
That's really smart. It's kind of airbrushy.
Yes, exactly airbrushing.
It's
And
a
then
very cool workflow.
he can compound, you know, different alphas on it too if he wanted to even add different variations on that, or even use a stencil. So many people, at least if you just picked up 4R7, you might not be used to the stencil property inside of ZBrush, but you can take any alpha and turn it into a stencil, and it will give you a full screen stencil, and then you can actually paint on that, and it's only going to allow you to paint those exposed areas. So lots of different options for getting those forms kind of brushed out.
I like that he's using the color to kind of mark out like his focal regions, his contrast.
And then if he's using Keyshot to do his final renders, this will all transfer right over. So you'll be able to get all that poly painting out, and then all his materials as well. And you can actually even apply different Keyshot materials to those models that have poly painting on them. So he could retain this value and then say put a skin shader instead of Keyshot. And so you still get that coloring and then this Keyshot material on top of it.
Well done, Matt.
Well done.
Look forward to seeing. Yeah. That's really cool.
All right, let's go back to the board. So here we have our organic contestants again, all lined up. If we go from the top, the actual top left, we got Mark De Decker. Then in the middle top, we got Matt Thrope. Then we have at the top right, Robert Vignon. Then we've got bottom left, Damian Woods. Crystal Seyao. And Eric Sosa. So those are our contestants here for our organic competition. Once again, start to finish, 3 hours for a final image. That's everything, including rendering.
Yep. And this is hour 1. This is their progress after just 1 hour.
We're already through 1 hour. Time flies.
I actually really dig that everybody's approaching this like beauty characters, horror characters, very creature, like it's nice to see all this variety.
Balance, and once again, the winners of the organic competition, so there's 12 artists for the organic, and then there's 12 artists for the hard surface. And each of those winners will be taking home a Formlabs Form 1 printer. So the latest and greatest. This is the updated version. We actually have it behind us. And Formlabs is one of our sponsors today, along with Keyshot. So everybody has Keyshot and the ZBrush to Keyshot bridge installed on all their machines as well.
Very cool.
So let's pop over to our hard surface, hard surface guys. So here we have at the top, we got Kirill, and we're not going to pronounce your name, sorry.
Chepizho.
Now I've had him tell me his name multiple times, and
that is
he just says, just say my first name. So you gonna try it?
Nope.
Nope. Go for it.
I don't know how you pronounce ZH8K altogether. Sorry, Carol.
Top middle, we have Frederick
Doust. That's actually a cool last name.
Top right, we've got Cedric So. Then bottom left, we got Furio.
Tedeschi.
That is the correct pronunciation, I believe.
I think so.
Then the bottom middle, we have Tony Leonard. And then finally, on the bottom right, we have Vaughn Ling. So those are our hard surface contestants here.
Nice.
So who do we want to focus on next? Oh, Eric's doing some cool stuff. Let's go see what Eric Sosa's doing. So Eric we saw him earlier. He was doing that carving in with that damn standard brush. And then now he's actually gone through and he's adding different attributes with alphas, and he's just hand sculpting it. He's just going crazy with the hand sculpting here. it's really interesting to see, how people, as you mentioned, how people work and approach these things creatively.
It's really inspiring, because like everybody's got their workflow, their shortcuts, their methods that just get them from point A to point B. And it really is like checking out what other artists are doing, artists that you admire, artists you've never, seen before, and just how they've learned the tools and learned the process and developed their own line. Like, it's just really inspiring. Brings in new elements to your workflow. Learn a lot from watching 12 artists at the same time making really cool characters.
So take it all in. And once again, if you guys have any questions on anything you're going to seeing here, remember we also have people manning our Twitter feed. So if you use hashtag ZBrush Summit with any questions you may have, we have a whole booth dedicated to Twitter.
Nice.
And so they will try to answer your questions. So just go, hey, I saw Eric Sosa, doing this technique. What was he doing? And so, yeah, hit us up, and we'll try to get that information to you. We have a bunch of videos on Z Classroom and other elements you can find. We can send you direct links, and you can learn the techniques and processes that you're actually seeing here. So really cool stuff. All right, so let's go check out Vaughn here.
He just started using some of the Kit Bash elements, and so
he has changed his color scheme like I don't know how many times, like because he was blue and then he had like all sorts of stuff. So
I'm on Team Blue.
You're on Team Blue. So once again, you can just see how much you can vary stuff while you're working. So you don't have to redo anything to change the colors on his models. He's just going through and getting things where he wants them. If he doesn't like it, you can just quickly go and change it out. He's doing a lot of transpose moving here, and it looks like he actually has this link to masking or link to polygrouping. So he's doing wide changes with the transpose. You can see he's kind of distorting his geometry here. One nice thing, if he has this as an actual Dynameshed model, even though it's stretching the topology on those areas there, he can just re-Dynamesh, and all that topology is going to go back.
Yep.
And then he'll be able to clean sculpt right over that area. Extremely helpful for wrinkles.
Duper
Extremely helpful.
And for antlers.
Yeah, especially if you're just pulling them off in space, and maybe you don't know how long you want those antlers. You don't have to go back and remodel it. Just pull it off.
Yep.
Re-Dynamesh, and that topology will be redistributed, and then you go in and sculpt. And the inflate brush is another one that's really good. If you have any parts on your model that gets a little bit too small or a little bit too thin when you're actually doing those snake hook brushes or pulling shapes off, you can go back and just inflate it a little bit. Give it a little more thickness. Helps a lot in the 3D printing aspect as well.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, we're going to hop over and see what Crystal's up to here.
Ooh, a nice plated structure along the chest now.
She's been working back and forth on this head here. We added the teeth, and it's looking good. And you see the technique on her technique on building up form too. You can see she's not doing one solid stroke to kind of describe the silhouettes. She's doing like a slow build up, and then like a slow regress. And a lot of traditional sculptors work in this way, where you build up slowly, and you definitely see it translate inside of ZBrush. So one of the main things when I do any instruction stuff is just don't just try to go jump right in for the form. You know, just build it up nice and softly, and you'll get that nice kind of organic feel out of it.
Absolutely. And a lot of like the micro details along the edge of the brush are going to follow the form too. I don't know if she's going to eradicate those later or not, but it does create some like really nice flow of texture kind of element within the
makes him look more like digital clay. Looking good. Looking good.
Yep.
All right, you want to hop back to the board? Let's hop back to the board.
Yeah, and our nice like overlord view of all this stuff.
So we actually, on our little console setup here, we actually can see all 12 at once. So you guys are limited to 6 at a time. Sorry.
But I mean, you get more visual interest looking at only 6.
It's definitely going crazy. We're going to hop over here and see what Cedric's doing here quick.
Oh, nice.
Oh, man, look at that. This almost looks like he's gone through and applied some panel loops. So there's a function inside of ZBrush that will allow you to establish polygrouping on your model. And then when that polygroup's active, you can apply this panel looping to it, and it'll take all those individual polygroups and apply them as different panels. So you get this kind of breakup effect across your model. And you can determine how much bevel each of those panels gets and the thickness of it. So it looks like he may at some point masked all this out, applied different polygroups quickly using maybe the lasso brush. And now he's got all these panels set up as its own layer, and he can come through and deform and change things as necessary.
That's going to make all of these individual plates for this mechanical character really easy to handle.
Yes, yes. And if he has them still as those separate groups too, you can easily just split them out into different polygroups and different subtools. And if he wants different materials on different parts inside a KeyShot, he's going to be able to really get those generated quick. That's looking pretty cool.
Yeah.
You see there's his underlying base there too. You can see this was his, kind of worked out all the form in like a sculptural level first, and then went back in and started adding different elements on top of it.
That is really cool. I like how he's having different things overlap. Because, yeah, it's one thing just to have the panels and break it all apart, but then actually having things interact, overlap.
And that's the big thing
integrate.
with a lot of the digital sculpting stuff. That's what you're looking for. It's those break points where two elements are coming together, and that's what's bringing that visual kind of quality and interest to your model.
A lot of interest.
Yeah.
I dig his mouth. This, you know, I actually had a hawk at my house this morning.
A hawk.
So this is kind of cool.
So in North Carolina, we get the East Coast side, we get the bald eagles. So
jealous.
yeah,
Never
we
mind.
see a lot of bald eagles.
And I was like, oh, I saw a nice bird. You're like, oh, well, I got a bald eagle. I'm like, well, thanks. This is really cool, though. I like the bird elements.
Now, what's the gigantic, the golden eagle? Those are the ones you want.
That's
that
the biggest one.
Haul some
That's
goats off a cliff.
California's state bird, I think.
Really?
Golden eagle. Am I totally out? I don't know.
Snatching stuff and just throwing them right off a cliff. There was a few videos a while ago.
What?
And they had just the
Where they're like, oh,
the
this turtle's
golden
great.
eagles grabbing. It was actually like goats, and they were on the cliffside, and the golden eagle swooped down, grab them, and I don't know what they did afterwards. I hope they
Ate it.
Yes, I hope so. So here we have Mark the Decker again. He's got some stuff going on here too. Look at this. So he's using.
Well, this was the leaf that he was working on in Photoshop earlier.
Yes. So he transferred to Photoshop and made a quick leaf. And I'm not sure, I can't tell right now if this is a single plane of geometry and then he has his texture loaded onto it. But he's using this as an insert mesh brush, and he's now applying these leaf forms
in
to
kind
his
of like
actual
a
model.
muscle.
Yeah,
flow.
yeah. So it's a very cool process to come through, and you just can use those insert meshes, you know, create stuff quickly on the fly, and then populate your structure with it. So I wonder, it's going to be interesting to see what his actually turns out into.
Definitely agreed.
Who you want to hop over to now? Oh, here we're gonna hit up.
Dinosaur, please.
Yeah, let's hop back over to Kirill here. He's inside a KeyShot as well, so he's previewing his rendering already. So the versions of KeyShot we have loaded here allow you to edit your HDRs too. So he's actually making his own HDRI image in the corner there. So he's adding light spheres to it, working out how those shadows and forms are going to fall, and doing this while working with ZBrush. So, you know, if he wants to take a break, maybe step back from the sculpting for a second.
Well,
hop
it'll really
over
help you reevaluate exactly where you're taking stuff.
Yep.
It's like, oh, do I need to add more here, there? This is really cool.
Yeah, very, very creative kind of workflow on this. So I still don't know alligator, but it's got like kind of like this fanning effect.
Oh.
I don't know.
Whatever it
Interesting to
is,
see.
I like it.
It looks good. It looks good. All right, we're gonna head back over to the board here. Here we have all our hard surface contestants as well. So once again, this is the ZBrush Live Sculpt Off. We have 6 hard surface contestants battling against 6 organic contestants. The topic today is organic fauna versus
organic flora versus
hard
mechanical
fauna. Yes.
Hard surface, sorry.
Same thing. Mechanical, hard surface.
Yeah.
We'll make it work. So looking good stuff here. We're going to hop in on Tony here. Let's see what he's working on.
Oh, nice. So that leg that was earlier just like a a tube with sculpts.
This
with
is
just kind of like
definitely,
the
yeah, this
lines.
is definitely rhinoceros beetle here. We
Yeah.
got some rhinoceros beetle.
It's really cool how he's pulled the shape. Oh, I love his handling of the surface, like pinch and some trim brushes pulling it in. But
And he does a lot of this with his 2D artwork as well. It's
Yeah?
his, kind of his style. So it's interesting to see it translate, how he translates it from the 2D aspect into 3D as well.
really cool.
It's very nice. More of those kind of dam standard carves-ins there.
Oh, cool.
And you can see now, like, some of these elements he's still working on. You can see, like, the side here.
Mhm.
He's going to go in probably with the H polish brush and kind of just bring all those forms out and get those things nice and hard like he's doing right now, right in the bottom there.
Oh, cool.
So you can actually come through and polish the surface and hold those edges. And it's another unique way to kind of do hard surface elements on your structures.
Yeah, that brush changed my life.
Yes. I've spent many hours using the hard surface brush.
Well, I remember what it was like before that brush existed, so this is exciting.
Tony's also playing with alphas here as well, so he's loading
Ooh.
those up and then applying them across the surface to get more details. So I'm pretty sure he probably has a whole library of these kind of little mechanical shapes.
Nice.
He uses Illustrator a lot too in his 2D artwork, so I bet he's made a whole bunch of nice alphas and load them directly into KeyShot and then using those as sculptural elements on his model.
That's really smart.
So interesting technique. Oh man, Eric Sosa's getting more pumpkin-y there. We're starting to get more texture on that
Nice.
that model.
You know when you're shopping for a pumpkin for Halloween, this is the pumpkin
This is
that
the
is
one you
left
would
in the
want.
store on Halloween
This might be the one
day.
you want.
No, okay. Well, I mean, if you're going for this horrifying skull pumpkin, yes.
There is actually they've actually started making, if you can carve and do this inside a ZBrush.
Yeah.
There's actually one company, I can't remember the name of the company, but they've actually made a pumpkin carving machine. And you could take your 3D data. I don't know if it was pure 3D or they were just pulling off 2D. But it's basically a CNC machine for a pumpkin.
Oh.
And so they smack it on the big pedestal there, and they turn the CNC mill on, and it turns into this.
Eric
So-
should talk with
Yeah,
him.
Eric should definitely send this model to get
And then
CNC'd
kids will
into
cry.
a real pumpkin shape. And they also were doing, I think it was Japan.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing gourd molds, and so they'd end up taking this, you 3D print this out, make a mold of it, like almost like a vacuum form type mold, and they're doing them clear
And growing the pumpkin
and
inside
growing
of
the
it.
pumpkin inside of
my
it.
gosh,
Yes, yes.
that's
So
amazing.
another way Eric could get this into
I
an
love technology.
actual pumpkin. Very cool.
So he could actually, if he wins this, take his 3D printing machine,
Print it out,
print out.
make a quick mold, so
A
it's
nice
clear.
clear. Yeah.
Yep, yep.
You want the sunlight
You want the
getting
sunlight
in
to
there.
get in, that's right. You also have to water it somehow. And the roots got to come through. Well, I guess you don't have to water it.
No, you got the plant, and
Yeah,
then the
the plant,
pumpkin
yeah.
grows off with the vine, and then you stick it inside its new
It's
little
new
plastic
casing. Yes.
home. Well, that's how they made the square pumpkins, right?
That's right. Yeah. Watermelons too they were doing.
Oh, see, now I thought he had a full skull underneath, kind of informing the shape of the
No,
pumpkin.
he just pulled the eyes
Nice.
out. Yeah.
It's just the eyes.
And here's another technique Eric's doing here. He's masking out the areas he doesn't want to be affected. So he's just applying a quick mask. And to do this in ZBrush, just hold Control and drag across the surface, and it's going to automatically mask. And then that's allowing him to pull those kind of like lid folds over top of that other element and give you
That's
that
really
nice
pretty.
transition as well. So as we were talking about earlier, the transitions are what are, bringing your
Yep.
sculptures to life.
It's all about the layers.
So who are we going to hop over to next?
We haven't looked at Damon in a little while.
Yeah, we need to hit up Damon. So here we have Damon,
His fungus beast.
Fungus Among Us,
Humongous fungus.
Humongous Fungus. I like that one. Definitely got that kind of gourd aspect going on the top.
Well, I really like how he's taken that kind of like bent gourd shape and made that into like the inverted nose brow line thing. It's really, really cool.
I'm feeling a little bit of kind of like a Darkstalkers type vibe too, like Joe Madureira type aspect going on.
I see that's what you have time to do out in North Carolina. Yeah, a lot of video games
Just a little.
and bald eagles.
Bald eagles, bald eagles and video games.
It's not a bad life. Eat art, bald eagles, video games.
I really like how he's taking those mushrooms too and has them kind of embedding into the arms. They're not just stuck in. He's actually made that kind of casing around him to look like they're actually growing out.
No, it's really cool because like he started off with a symmetrical character, and then decided that as armor or as interest things that are growing out of the character, they're different on both sides, and then
Just break them up. Yeah.
yeah, he stopped his symmetry so then he can integrate these other objects that he's put in.
It's
And
really
they're still
nice.
separate objects, right? Like he's
Yeah,
not.
he's still got them as subtools. He's got looks like 5 subtools maybe.
Oh,
6?
okay, cool.
Yeah, so they're still broken out, and you can see when he clicked the body and he didn't have any poly paint on it. It's allowing you to see what other elements are kind of masked as other subtools. So that way, yeah, if he depending on what he's going to do, he can render them with different passes and things like that, mask them out.
They have different spec, all
Yeah.
that. Nice.
All right, let's head back over to the board here. All right, so here are our hard surface contestants. These are the first 6 this afternoon. Me and Jessica and I,
Yep.
will be back for another 3 hours of
And a whole new batch of artists.
Whole new batch.
6 more
Whole new
organic,
batch.
6 more hard surface.
That's correct.
And now, so it's just all the hard surface guys are fighting amongst themselves to create the most awesome thing, right?
Yes, so there's 12 hard surface and we have 12 organic, and so there's only going to be one winner out of each of those.
Nice.
But they're broken up into those 2 tiers. So we have our first group this morning, which has 6 hard surface and 6 organic, and then this afternoon we'll have our other set of 6 hard surface and 6 organic guys.
It's really cool.
And our afternoon session will also have the 2 champions from last year as
last year,
well.
yeah.
Yes, that's right. And if we can
They're after that belt.
they're after that belt. So let's go. We can show these here quick. I don't know where I put
yeah.
mine.
You put
Mine's
yours
on
over
the
there.
floor. So besides winning this our elaborate Form Lab
Yeah.
machine right here,
Yeah.
the winners also
get
get to
street
take
cred.
home this, right? So we have 1 for hard surface, and we have 1 for organic.
Yeah, these things are really fantastic.
They're really heavy. I mean, this is the real deal right here
Yep.
for this belt. And so right now, Justin Goby Fields and Paul Liao are the owners of these belts, and so their titles are up for the taking
It's really pretty.
today. So we'll find out. And you guys, the viewers, are the ones that are going to be voting on this. So through our Facebook feed, you can actually vote on the final images that come out of this contest.
I think it's ZBrushSummit.com/vote.
Yes, I think you're correct. And it should be getting thrown up on our Twitter feed as well.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be
And
all
once
over
again,
the website.
yes, the Twitter feed for that is ZBrush Summit is the hashtag. So definitely hit it up. And once again, if you have any questions on anything that's happening here today or anything you see inside of ZBrush, please send a hashtag out, send a message out to the hashtag ZBrush Summit. We have a whole team manning our Twitter booth, and they're happy to assist and answer questions, send you links. So anything you see and you want to know more about, check it out. So here we got hard surface. We're cooking along there. We're going to come over and see what our organic guys are doing as well, and gals. Oh man, we're going to have to hop in and see what Crystal's doing here.
Ooh, yes.
So we have Crystal. Oh, she's
Nice.
starting to get that.
I want to
effect
see how
on the
she's going to
bottom of it.
pose this guy because, all the interest underneath and, yeah, it's a real complete bust.
She's kept it really clean too. Like you can see how clean her actual sculpting is, and as we saw earlier, kind of building up forms throughout the process. But she should be able right now with everything looks. She may only be using 1 subtool for her stuff here. If she's gonna add eyes, she'll probably add some more. But she'll be able to quickly pose this, either just using the transpose options inside a ZBrush, or taking it to Transpose Master to kind of manipulate her form. It's really interesting to see her work. Just building up those shapes till they're exactly where she wants them to be. She's using move, and once again, not using symmetry at this point, so going in and just getting that asymmetrical kind of aspect just a little bit, so it doesn't look as digital. Yeah.
She has really good sense of anatomy. I like the decisions she's making in the
Yeah.
jaw, along the neck, the waddle.
Looks really good. Be an interesting costume.
Heck yeah. If you don't mind maybe looking out through the nose hole, I guess. No, I mean, obfuscating the eyes on a character is a really interesting approach. Like, say you're in a costume that doesn't really have a face or doesn't have eyes.
Stick 'em somewhere
Interacting with people, they really don't know what to do.
else.
It's something in the basic human brain.
Yeah,
They're
looking
like,
for the eyes. Looking
I
for
can't.
the eyes.
I don't know what to talk to. Well, maybe your hood. It's proboscis, right? Is that what the STEM thing's
Yes,
called?
that is right. Yeah.
It's been a while since I've taken biology.
All right, we're gonna head over here now to Frederick. Now he's doing some interesting stuff here. It looks like he has taken some geometry, say like a plane, and generated some masking shapes, and then has deleted everything but the plane itself.
This is for the wings in his concept.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Now we have a few options you can actually add thickness to these shapes with. So you have the ability with the Z-Modeler brush. If you have clean topology, you can just come through and apply a Q-mesh action to it, and it'll give thickness to that entire surface. You could also do the process which looks like Frederick here did, which was probably taking a plane, masking it out, using his spotlight reference as reference, and then deleting everything and just leaving this shape here. And then you go through and add thickness with just the extract function, which is located underneath that subtool menu there. So at the very bottom of the subtool menu, there's a little tab that says extract.
Nice.
And you can just use that, and any masked areas on your model can be extracted out to a new surface that has thickness. So
It's really cool. So now he's masking out different areas. so
yeah,
that
it
he
looks like
can
he's trying to get his
pump it in.
panels, push them out and
Really
pump them in.
cool.
And then switch into a horizontal view and draw on that transpose line out. To draw the transpose line out as well, if you want to lock it into view, you can just hold Shift, and it'll draw it out to one of these ZBrush world axes. So you'll see, as you see here with Frederick, is turning to the side, drawing it out so it's perfectly horizontal, and then applying that transpose action to get the shape drawn out.
Dang.
Really cool stuff.
It's a really cool character.
Yeah, just manipulating the different things, just masking out the little parts, making them line up. Good stuff. So you want to hop to next?
Hard surface, guys.
Oh, Eric's got teeth going on. Let's go back to the board. Let's see what we got on the board. Let's go back. We'll hit up the hard surface guys on the board. So here are our hard surface contestants. Cedric's over there. Still looks like he's doing a lot of polishing to all those panel loops up at the top right. That's Cedric So. So we can run through quick. So we got Kirill over here at the top left.
With his alligator
Yeah,
crocodile.
inside a keyshot right now, setting up his lighting. So working back and forth with the ZBrush to keyshot bridge. Then we have Frederick over here in the top middle. He was the one we were just looking at, making those wings quick. Oh, he's inside a shadow box now too.
Nice.
We're gonna have to. We'll pop over to this quick. Oh, he's out of shadow box now.
It is a really cool tool though
Yes,
that not a lot of
it
people
makes
use.
really nice shapes. So inside of ZBrush, you have the shadow box tool. They can actually activate inside the geometry tab. And what this will do is it's going to generate a 3-paneled box. And if you apply masking to the back panel, it's going to allow you to generate a shape instantly from that masking. So it's
yeah.
really awesome for going in. So you can do with the shapes here, you just loads up that box, masks quickly. You can refine his mask using any of the masking tool sets. And then when he exits shadow box, he's going to get that geometry.
Nice.
So
And then you can also use, so say you've got your y-axis for the wing silhouette, and then you use your x-axis for like the shape size for like the long way. So if you wanted it thicker at the top and tapered at the bottom, he would probably just end up masking kind of a
the design or
triangle.
the dimensions he wants on those other 2 axes, and it'll update that shape.
Yeah, it was a really nice thing if you're really used to like ortho modeling, so using your orthographic concepts.
Pulling them in and getting all
It's
those
really
shapes laid
cool.
out.
So like it was, I think, one of ZBrush's first steps towards kind of like really catering to the hard surface element, because like that's how you make cars.
Yeah,
You get all
Get
these like
those
really
views
cool
and plug 'em in
blueprint
and
designs. Yeah. So you could just like shade, and then you immediately have your base mesh, and it's in the dimensions that you wanted. It's a really cool tool. It's nice to see someone using it.
So here we go. We hopped over to Robert Vignon, and here's doing some transpose moving here to kind of see how he's going through about posing some of the stuff here. So he was working on the bust coming out of the wood.
Mm-hmm.
Entangled was, I think, the...
Oh, yeah. That's the spell.
So he's further refining the shape here. Now notice too, he's sculpting on a pretty thin piece of geometry here.
Mm-hmm.
Inside of ZBrush, you can determine. We have a masking feature as well that will allow you to auto mask the back faces.
I turn that on first
Yes,
every
yes.
time.
So
I'm
if
like,
you're-
oh yeah.
If you're sculpting and the front side of your model is also affecting the back side of the model just because how thin it is, just make sure you have that auto masking turned on underneath the brush menu there, and then you'll only be able to affect that kind of front surface that's facing you.
It'll save you a lot of headache.
Yes, lots of headaches. So it's very, very interesting.
That's a cool approach. So just kind of like masked it out, made it
Generated
exist.
shapes, yeah. Pulled it out, did
And
what
then
you
is, like,
needed,
shaping
now
it.
adding the form back onto it. Yeah,
I
you can see
like
that-
people's approach.
You can see the pattern of the stroke too, like he's not going through. So here's the back face mask.
Yep.
Let's
We
see how
can't give him hints though.
No, let's see how he's going to handle it. Time is of the essence. There's only 3 hours here. There you go. So now,
Did he
is
turn on?
he going to check it?
Check it.
See if he's going to
Check
check it. Yep.
Well
It's
done.
working. It's working. So there you go. Back face mask in effect right there. Perfect example. But you can see this is the same kind of sculpting style that we saw with Crystal as well, where we're building up those forms really lightly
Yep.
and getting them expand across
And
the surface.
embracing that, like the lines, all the form language it creates.
Yeah. All right, we're going to hop over to Tony Leonard here. So he's gone into his insert mesh repository, it looks
So
like.
rad.
Yeah. And so once again,
You're
you
right
can-
though, rhinoceros beetle.
Rhinoceros beetle, yeah. You can take any of these kind of models that you make inside of ZBrush and you can turn them into brushes. And then with these, you can then apply these on your model as these insert mesh brushes. And you can also have them be affected by a curve, so you can actually make, say, a pattern of stitching, and then use that insert mesh brush, turn it into an insert mesh brush that's being affected by the curve, and you can draw all that stitching out on your model. So instead of going in there and manually trying to put in stitching
Some
everywhere.
really, really cool elements. Like I think what automatically comes with ZBrush is the zipper.
Oh, the zipper's excellent.
Yeah, and
that's
it has
Etcher zipper is
and it has
that
like
one.
a different mesh for the beginning and a different mesh for the end. So you actually have like the start of the zipper and then the actual zip handle.
Yeah, and that's the tri-part insert mesh brush. So if you set up 3 polygroups is all that is. And you do it top to bottom, so you have 3 polygroups, and the middle polygroup in that strand will be the one that repeats.
It's really cool.
It's added so much to ZBrush.
Well, it's
you always
also
want
like a
that
modeling
ending-
style that no
Yeah.
one else. It's just a whole new thought process.
And then you can adjust the curves and do all this stuff with them. So someone will break out wires here during one of these events, and you'll see those. I bet
Well, we
Corels
had
had those
some
end wires on it,
wires.
and that's probably using one of those IMM
Yep.
curve brushes with those multi-stuff. So here we got Tony again coming through and using those alphas to apply more details. So he's got like circular alphas, and he's just using the drag rectangle here and just dragging them out on the surface and just getting them to
really
display. So little details like that. And this is one nice thing about Dynamesh that we're talking about. You unify all that geometry. So when he draws out this circle on one part of his mesh,
Yeah.
and then he goes elsewhere and draws it out, it's going to be that same resolution. Like he's not
So
going to see
nice.
that kind of stair-stepping that happens.
Yeah.
So he's getting in there with the detailing stuff now. It's going to be interesting to see how he's going to do material breakup, though. Because right now, all that's kind of just one
Oh.
object, right?
Well, he could go in and mask that pretty easily and just make it a different
could,
polygroup,
yep.
separate it out. But he's got some very interesting choices. I dig it.
Now let's hop over and see what Matt Thrope's doing.
Horns and elf ears.
Fiddlehead,
This is my
elf
jam.
ears. Yep. Sculpting away. Go, 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 go. So once again, this is the live sculpt off coming here from the ZBrush Summit. Currently we have 6 hard surface contestants and 6 organic contestants battling it out. I don't know where his name is. And they're all live streamed here. So if you are watching at home, see how it goes. So we have the hard surface guys again, all lined up. This is the 6. Once again, the winner of the hard surface challenge and the winner of the organic challenge will all be taking home a Form Labs Form 1, the latest version, the upgraded one. We have it sitting behind us here.
It's to taunt us.
It
We
is.
want this.
It is. The Gnomon Studio here. And so 1 of 12 will walk away with this. So the hard surface is the mechanical fauna. So mechanical animals. So thinking of an animal.
Mechanicals.
Yeah. I think there is a show called
Mechanicals?
Yeah.
Where was that when I was a kid? I would have watched that.
So we're trying to decide what kind of animals each one of these have been picked out as well. We've got the praying mantis. We're pretty sure on that one.
Yeah, we're solid on that.
Rhinoceros beetle.
Mhm.
We're not sure what Vaughn's doing over in the
I'm saying it's a mechanical
lower right
reindeer.
there. Mechanical reindeer.
Obviously flying.
Obviously flying.
It's going to end with a red nose.
Mm-hmm. We got Cedric up at the top there. We got that beak thing. We know
Yep.
it's
I feel it's more parrot than bird of prey.
it might
Because
be.
of the crest on top?
Yeah. And then we have Frederick. I'm not sure where Frederick's going yet. When he gets back to the few things. He's modifying some of his little parts here and adding some different elements. And then we got Kirel. And we thought it was going
Alligator. Could
Alligator.
be dinosaur. Well, I mean, they're all animals.
It's very interesting though. He's doing a lot of that IMM sculpting there. Let's check on the organic side quick. Here we have our organic guys. So the flora. And these were basically wanted to bring in the different flora and turn it into an actual creature. So we have plant creatures, I guess you'd call them.
It's really cool.
And we have Mark the Decker up at the top left.
And he's got the bean sprout
He
leaf
does. He has that,
faced.
the sprout head coming out of this bean.
Although we're not, it could be a bean, it could be a walnut.
Yeah, let's
it could be.
let's zoom in on that quick.
Yeah. It's really cool to see each person's workflow, how they come to realize, the face might be entirely made out of leaves.
Yeah.
It's totally a bean sprout. It has to be. Or a coffee bean.
Yeah, coffee bean was the other one. That was the only thing. But it's getting more bean or not. I think you're right. Because coffee, usually don't get that curve in a coffee bean. So.
It's really cool.
But he's
Now-
using those insert meshes with the textures on them. You can see here and kind of apply them out. And look at that. So he's RGB, and right now he's using an alpha. And he's got that intensity cranked really high. And so he's kind of using that to determine how that actual stroke's being drawn out. So it's giving a very painterly feel on the surface there.
And yeah, so his website is monkeymuscle.blogspot.com. I'm kind of curious, if he sticks to that painterly approach in his personal work.
Yeah.
His favorite artists are John Brown, who's a sculptor, and Eric Keller, who's an instructor here at Gnomon, right?
Yep. Eric is actually teaching one of the live workshops that's going on here.
Oh, hey.
So if you're heading here, I think the workshops start tomorrow. I'm not sure if this is Saturday or Sunday, but
It's Saturday and Sunday.
you'll get a chance to, if you're signed up for that class, you
Nice.
get Eric Keller as a,
And he comes highly recommended
yes,
by
he's
Mark
an
Decker.
excellent instructor. So you will learn a lot from Eric. Learn a lot. And his insects and stuff like that are insane
Yeah?
if you've ever seen his stuff.
Super
He's
fucking cool.
the bug man. The bug man. All right.
Do you want
let's
to
see who we got
visit
here.
Matt Thorup?
Yeah, let's go back to Matt here. Oh, so we got some hair going. And this is always one of those techniques when you see it, where they make it look so easy.
Man,
So he's generated, it looks like, one curve shape for the actual hair. And now he's duplicating it using transpose. And then he's manipulating it individually to kind of fall across the surface of her face.
cool. Hair is a lot of work. Hair grooms, hair
yes.
sculpts, all of that. It's a skill.
I did at once grow my hair out, and it was a pain. So
You're like, it's a skill in real life too.
we're like, let's try it and see what it's
That's
like.
why I'm a kind of a braid bun person. I'm not too.
I
fancy.
didn't get long enough for braid buns.
But the man buns are a thing right now. Come to the man bun side.
You grow out the beard, get the man buns.
Yeah. Oh, is the beard a requirement for the man bun?
I don't know. I was asking. I don't know. It seemed like the combination would go together. You might
they
as well.
do, and they frequently do.
Yeah, yeah. So interesting approach to the hair here. Now it'll be interesting to see if he actually merges this all together
Right.
and makes one clump. Another thing too, right now he's just cloning these, so they're all the same polygroup. So he can come through and say possibly apply an auto groups, which would give a new polygroup to all of these.
Ah.
And then you can actually mask your transpose line by polygroup.
Yep.
So wherever you click, it's only going to affect that one.
Nice. Although he might kind of move them all around together and
Yeah,
style them
just
all
a
at once, and then
gigantic
sort of
clump.
like go in.
It'll be interesting to see. All right, let's head back to the board.
See who's
the
next
board.
up. Do you want to
Oh,
check out
let's see.
Robert?
Well, we can check out Robert unless you want to see what Crystal's doing.
You
She's
know,
got
we haven't
some
watched.
spores here.
Yes,
over
let's
here.
go see Crystal.
Let's see what the spores are doing. Oh man,
This is cool. Yeah, she's
That's looking
composing
awesome.
a full image. It's not just a character that's all its pieces are connected, but like,
yeah. So just floating this stuff out there, and once again, compared to some of our other concepts we've done in the past, this one is just strictly the image. So there's no need to worry about having this thing 3D printed or anything else. So you can just go nuts, like float the geometry if you want to float it.
and she's using move topology, which only will grab things connected to the edge loops, the lines of an object. I use it a lot. Versus the move tool, which would grab everything
In there,
inside
yeah,
that
yeah.
like brush space.
No, it's looking really good. And she's also, you can see here, working on like all the angles. So she's not just looking at that front view; she's rotating around.
Nice. That
Getting
probably
this
means she
feel for
hasn't
that
decided
space.
like her
Exactly.
camera
Yeah, yeah.
yet.
It's looking really nice though.
I like the little bits that are coming off
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
stem.
Oh, if she makes those like glow inside of, it's gonna look pretty
I'm
cool.
excited.
Uh,
No pressure, Crystal.
no pressure, no pressure. It's actually it's Paul Liao that has to worry about this. He's the reigning champion.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. Crystal's putting on the pressure on him.
Yep.
If he's watching, watch out. Watch out.
That's right.
All right, back to the board.
Now, if you were sculpting, would you want to go first thing in the morning? Have all the fresh ideas?
It doesn't matter. I don't think it'd matter.
Yeah?
It depends. Well,
Do you function better before or after lunch?
Yeah, either one. I'd hope I was prepared enough to be able to go in either slot, but you never know.
Yep. Yep.
So we got organic.
Can we check out Robert right now? Because
Robert,
now we get to
Robert,
see
Robert?
exactly how he's using
Yeah, let's hop
those
over to
tree
Robert.
branches and stuff. It's for the full hair.
Yeah, and so it looks like he's brought them into as separate elements. So he hasn't. This is a thing a lot of
Ah.
people do with hands too. Is another thing. So you can pose your body, and then you have a set of hands you already made. And a lot of even just toy sculptors end up doing this, and you just attach those on there, and then you can weld them in if you want. It gives you more freedom as like that extra object.
Nice.
So he's able to tailor these branches exactly how he wants, and then just plop them in. And Dynamesh has the ability to kind of weld all that stuff together, so he doesn't have to
Cool.
manually go in and say this is an open edge and this is an open edge and bridge it between.
That's really nice. And especially for a tree that you're trying to get, created from scratch in under 3 hours.
3
Because he has
hours.
to make the whole character as well as all these branches.
Yeah.
It's a really smart idea that like he made this full tree, roughed it out, and then now is placing it around to have that kind of like fractal branching. Smart people here,
Smart people. Smart people.
using their time wisely.
All right, so let's check out the board once more, and then we're going to take a little break here.
Just about 5 minutes.
Yeah, we'll throw on some other stuff for you guys. You guys can watch from the overhead view here.
Oh yeah, watch our artists.
Watch them from afar.
Watch them sweat.
Yeah, and then we'll be back. We'll get that all going for you guys. And there we go. So we'll be back, a little 5-minute break. Here's a little word from our sponsors.
Right on.